Today is April 8th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps and 12 traditions. Today on the Big Book, we're on Chapter 6 in action. We'll be reading pages, I believe, the bottom of 84 and 85. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 12. We'll read page 107. And of course, we'll read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope y'all are doing well this morning, my friends. Life is good over here. Finally working out again. I don't know if I ever share. I love lifting weights. I always have. And in recent months, I've just kind of gotten out of the routine of it again. And yeah, it's nice to get back into it. So after recording this, we're gonna try to hit it. But I want to get too ahead of myself here. Let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends. So if you recall from yesterday's reading, we are on page 84. We talked about the 9th step promises first. And now, one of the last paragraphs we read yesterday was all about step 10. And it's just beautiful. Talking about how, we've entered the world of the Spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. And this is not an overnight matter. This is a lifetime step. And for sure, I have to continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentments, and fear. And it tells you exactly what to do. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we've harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone that we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code. So we are going to expand on that a little bit on bottom of 84 and 85. And we have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol. For by this time, sanity will have returned. We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we recoil from it as from a hot flame. We react sanely and normally, and we will find that this has happened automatically. We will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. That is the miracle of it. We're not fighting it, and neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though that we have been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. We have not even sworn off. Instead, the problem has been removed. It does not exist for us. We are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That is our experience. That is how we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. It's easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. We are headed for trouble if we do. For alcohol is a subtle foe. We are not cured of alcoholism. What we really have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. Every day is a day that we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. These are the thoughts which must go with us constantly. We can exercise our willpower along this line all we wish. It is the proper use of the will. Much has already been said about receiving strength, inspiration, and direction from Him who has all knowledge and power. If we have carefully followed directions, we've begun to sense the flow of His Spirit into us. To some extent, we've become God conscious. We've begun to develop this vital sixth sense. But we must go further, and that means more action. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on step 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all our affairs. And yesterday we talked about spiritual awakenings. And I love what it said at the bottom of 106. When a man or woman has a spiritual awakening, the most important meaning of it is that he has now become able to do, feel, and believe that which he could not do before on his unaided strength and resources alone. So we will build on that idea on 107. He has been granted a gift which amounts to a new state of consciousness and being. He's been set on a path which tells him he is really going somewhere. That life is not a dead end, not something to be endured or mastered. In a very real sense, he has been transformed because he has laid hold of a source of strength which, in one way or another, he had hitherto denied himself. He finds himself in possession of a degree of honesty, tolerance, unselfishness, peace of mind, and love of which he thought himself quite incapable. What he has received is a free gift, and yet usually, at least in some small part, he has made himself ready to receive it. AA's matter of making ready to receive this gift lies in the practice of the 12 steps in our program. So let's consider briefly what we've been trying to do up to this point. Step 1 showed us an amazing paradox. We have found that we were totally unable to be rid of the alcohol obsession until we first admitted that we were powerless over it. In step 2, we saw that since we could not restore ourselves to sanity, some higher power must necessarily do so if we were to survive. Consequently, in step 3, we turned our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. For the time being, we who are atheist or agnostic discovered that our own group, or AA as a whole, would suffice as a higher power. Beginning with step 4, we commenced to search out the things in ourselves which have brought us to physical, moral, and spiritual bankruptcy. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory. "24 hours a day, April 8th. AA thought for the day. Second, alcoholics recover their faith in a power greater than themselves. They admit that they are helpless by themselves, and they call on their higher power for help. They surrender their lives to God as they understand Him. They put their drinking problem in God's hands and leave it there. They recover their faith in a higher power that can help them. Have I recovered my faith? Meditation for the day. You must make a stand for God. Believers in God are considered by some as a peculiar people. You must even be willing to be deemed a fool for the sake of your faith. You must be ready to stand aside and let the fashions and customs of the world go by, if that means that God's plans are thereby forwarded. Be known by the marks that distinguish a believer in God. These are honesty, purity, unselfishness, love, gratitude, and humility. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may be ready to profess my belief in God before others. I pray that I may not be turned aside by the skepticism and cynicism of unbelievers. Daily Reflection, April 8th. An inside look. We want to find exactly how, when, and where our natural desires have warped us. We wish to look squarely at the unhappiness this has caused others and ourselves. By discovering what our emotional deformities are, we can move toward their correction. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 43. Today, I am no longer a slave to alcohol. Yet in so many ways, enslavement still threatens. Myself, my desires, even my dreams. Yet without dreams, I cannot exist. Without dreams, there's nothing to keep me moving forward. I must look inside myself to free myself. I must call upon God's power to face the person I feared the most, the true me, the person God created me to be. Unless I can or until I do, I will always be running and never truly free. I ask God daily to show me such a freedom. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading. Wow, that last one really hits hard. You know, I never really thought about it, but a big chunk of my life, I was always running. Running to find this. Running to find that. Maybe if I do this, I'll be happy. Maybe if I do this, my life will have some kind of meaning. Maybe if I do this over here, so-and-so will like me. But I love that it says that I can ask God for daily freedom. Daily freedom, you know, and that kind of ties into what we read in the big book today. It says here, it's easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. I've done that. I've done that. You know, I've been sober a little while. I don't need to go to that meeting tonight. Or, I'm fine. I got this. I don't really need to pray this morning. You know, that little thing I did yesterday, that was no big deal. Come on. You know, it's fine. I've done that. And then that little marble starts to twirl around my brain. It gets bigger and bigger every time. Or that little weed, right, that I've just neglected to pick, gets bigger and bigger and starts choking out the fruit in my life. It says here, we are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is a subtle foe. We are not cured of alcoholism. That's another thing too I was told that we never really graduate. I love the next line. What we really have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. Every day is a day that we must carry the vision of God's will into all our alcohol problems? No, all of our activities. There's always going to be something to work on. I've learned that in my life. There's always something to be working on. And here's the really cool part, you know, like that sounds overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, there's always something to work on. But also to look back and take stock of what my higher power's already done. And what he's doing in my life. And what I've gained that I never saw coming. When I take stock of that, it makes doing this little bit of work every day so worth it. Like, for instance, speaking of running, right? When I was a kid, I really didn't know who I was. And I would try to be the cool guy in class. That certainly didn't work. I would try to be the funny guy. It really wasn't me. And now, after doing the steps and trying to live a life of integrity one day at a time, I can be okay with being me. I can be okay looking myself in the mirror because I realize that I'm a beloved son of the Most High, that I am forgiven and I am cleansed. I'm being made whole each and every day. And according to another big book, my higher power's mercies are new every morning. It says right here, it was in one of the readings today about grace. And I can't find it. It's either in the 12 and 12 or in the big book on the page we just read. I just saw it. If I could sum up sobriety right now, it's like if I were to die today, April 8th, 2026, if this were to be my last day, I didn't have a flashy life. I never became that published author. I'm not a millionaire. But I'm free. I have a beautiful wife that loves me for me. I have 2 beautiful, healthy children. I'm alive today and I am sober and I have another opportunity to help somebody else today. I don't look at myself as a failure anymore. I look at myself as somebody who is perfectly human. And for me, being sober, trying to help others, that's enough. I feel like I've lived a life that's well lived. And if today were my last day, I honestly think my life is infinitely better than what I could have ever imagined before. I owe all of that sincerely to my higher power today and what he has done through these steps. So with that, my friend, I've rambled on enough. I hope you know that if you're sober, you're a miracle and you are giving a great gift to those around you. And if you're not sober, I hope you know that you're a miracle as well, that your life has great worth and your story is not done yet. I pray from the bottom of my heart that you would get the help that you need today, and you don't have to do it alone. There are people dying to help you, and there are so many resources out there. Do you have the honesty, the open-mindedness, and the willingness to reach out for help today? I hope so. I really do. And my friend, if we are given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.